Tagine, the queen of all Middle Eastern recipes. Not just any Middle Eastern recipes, I'd say North African Arab countries Middle Eastern recipes, because this recipe is definitely more famous in their region, but I absolutely love it too, because the way that slow cooked veg marinates with those spices and taste, it is absolutely to die for. And it is a super easy recipe. All you need to do really is chop up the veg, make the dressing, and then leave it on a low heat to cook. Don't get put off if you don't have a tagine, because I will be telling you exactly how to make this recipe without tagine. I completely understand and get that most people don't have tagines. The reason I'm using a tagine is because obviously it looks amazing and it's beautiful and it's authentic, and I want to capture your attention with beautiful colours and beautiful kitchen crockery. As I said, this recipe is super easy, super delicious. And if you're out there and you've had a tagine once in a Moroccan or Tunisian restaurant and you wanted to recreate it, then this is the recipe for you, because it's easy and it's a very authentic recipe and it is absolutely delicious. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, then please hit the button down below, because I will be posting new delicious vegan Middle Eastern recipes every Wednesday, so make sure you stay tuned. Alright, let's get started. Look at my lovely new knife. I just love sliding it off this. The sound it makes makes me feel like a real chef. Right, so now let's start with the courgette. So you want one courgette and you want to chop them into slices, not slices, what is it called? Come on, Jude, what's the word? Sticks, that's the word. Sticks. It's funny how simple words sometimes elude my mind. Like, sometimes once I forgot the word drawer, I had to grab my friend to my room and be like, what is that? I need to email the landlord and tell them it's broken. And then because when I translated it, I went to Google Translate, because that's, you know, my number one place to go when I don't know how to translate something. And I put jarrar in, which means drawer, but it also means tractor. So I put jarrar in, it was like tractor, and I was like, well, it's obviously, I'm obviously like not looking for that word. I'm not going to email my landlord being like, excuse me, my tractor broke, can you fix it? So that's the courgettes done. Whack them in that beautiful little bowl. Now let's get cracking with the pepper. So you want one pepper. Alright, and now let's get cracking with the carrot. We're going to do the carrot what we did with the courgette. So you want one medium-sized carrot or big carrot, whatever you want. Do you want more carrots? Ow! Oh, well, look at that. The sun is peeking its eye out. So I got a bad injury from the new knife. It's very sharp. It just rolled down, and the next thing I know, there's blood everywhere. So it's going to be a challenge to finish this episode. So you want one potato. I kind of want everything in strips. You'll see why I want that. Is because when you unveil it, well, you're going to stack up all of the strips on top of each other. This week's weather's been literally like 2 hours of rain, 10 minutes of sun. Just the way it is. Alright, so we don't want all of this cauliflower. You're only going to want like a quarter, but you can use more if you want. Okay, so that's what we need for the veg. Now we want to get onto the marinade. Half a tomato chopped really fine. Sorry guys, I'm just going to be chopping such a funny way. Alright, that'll do. And then the onion, you want half an onion. Doesn't matter if it's a white one or a purple one. we want to peel and crush or chop 2 cloves of garlic. As I always say, I prefer crushing just because it can get all the juices out and can help integrate with one another rather than having bits of garlic that you will get bites of, which no one wants. Onto the ginger. You just want a little bit of ginger. If you don't have normal ginger, just use ground ginger. It'll be 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. I always prefer using fresh ginger just because you can really taste it. I do love that. And then we're going to crush the ginger bits just so they're not also like bits. I mean, I don't mind. Actually, I don't mind ginger bits when they come in. It's quite intense, let's be honest. Beautiful sunshine. One thing we did forget to do are the lovely beans. I love these beans, they're so massive. Again, from my local fruit and veg shop. I was so pleased when we moved house that the new place, is literally like 2 minutes walk, is a fruit and veg shop. And the guy is so lovely. And now we want to get to the marinade. Put all the garlic and ginger we crushed. Onto the spices. So we want 1 teaspoon of paprika and then 1 teaspoon of cardamom, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and then 1 teaspoon of turmeric. Equilibrium is what we call it. 1 teaspoon of pepper. I even have this shaker, it's just really cute. Then a sprinkle of salt, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and 4 tablespoons of water. 4 to 5, I'll say 5 just because I always like to have an extra marinade. That'll do. Now we want to mix all of these lovely spices together. Right, and that's everything for our preparation phase. Now, let's start cooking. And we don't want to forget the parsley. Right, that will do. Now let's start putting things together. We want to put it on a low heat. You can also, so if you want to cook your tagine on the hob, you need this thing, you need the diffuser. It costs like £5, probably less. Perfect, that's good enough. Don't put it on a high heat because it will burn that diffuser, you don't want that. And now let's get the lovely tagine. Just want to wait for it to heat up a little bit, and once it's heated up we want to add the onions and tomatoes. Alright, that looks pretty hot to me. If you don't have a tagine, then a slow cooker does pretty much the same work as a tagine. If you don't have a slow cooker though, you can just use a heavy shallow baking dish, cover it tightly with foil and bake it in an oven on 220 degrees for an hour or until all the veg are nice and tender. I like to cook the tagine for hours sometimes if I've got the time, just because there's something so beautiful about the way that the slow cooked veg gets so tender and cooked with all that marinade and the spices and the lovely tastes all around. But if you don't have time, then you can just cook it for 45 minutes or an hour. Just make sure that all the veg are tender and nice. But if you've got the time, then I would definitely recommend that you give it that long, slow cook experience. Once it starts cooking, we want to add some of that marinade that we made. So you don't need that much, just a little bit, because most of it is going to go while we're cooking. Let's mix it all about. That smells amazing, I must admit. And just keep cooking it for a couple of minutes. That's looking lovely. Now we want to stack all of the vegetables. So you want to start with the ones that take more time to cook. So we've got the potatoes and the carrots and the courgettes. The best thing about tagine is that when you open it up, you've got all this assortment of just beautiful veg. Like to spend money on kitchen stuff, this is the things to spend your money on, because it can go in the hob, it can go in the oven, you can make all sorts of tagines with it. You can make anything you want in a tagine. And honestly, if you have a dinner party, or if you want to have a date, or you want to impress someone, it's the thing that would literally, like, when you unveil it, it is, oh my god, it is just one of those moments that just gives it such presentation. Alright, and now I'm going to put the green beans. And then I've also got some peas. I've just got some frozen peas, but if you can get your hands on some fresh ones, definitely use fresh ones. Oh, my love for peas has been, when I was young, I used to my mum used to sometimes tell us, like, when the peas are in season, my mum used to ask me and my sister to de-shell them, and we'd just end up eating half of them. And growing peas is the best thing. I could literally eat them for like days. Alright, now look at that. After adding most of the marinade, just keep a little bit that we'll add throughout. We wanna cover it up. Look at these amazing, beautiful colours and spices and smells and just everything. Right, and now we wanna cover it up. Cover it up and keep it cooking for 45 minutes or until all the vegetables and everything is tender. Wait a second, I see that. I see you. You want it to properly close down. And just keep checking it from time to time to make sure the water has not run out and that everything is doing okay, but more or less you can just leave it to it. Oh, it's looking great and smelling amazing. So yeah, hopefully not long from now, all the veg will look quite tender. We'll take it out and it'll be ready to serve. And we're all done. Don't forget to sprinkle it with some lovely coriander at the end. And as we say in Arabic, صحتين وعافية. Don't forget to tag me or send me a picture if you do attempt to make this or any of my other recipes. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, because I will be posting new delicious vegan Middle Eastern recipes every Wednesday, so make sure you stay tuned.